he actually sent. I said, look, this is doable. We can get it done. He said, oh, but we need 3,000 Kenya shillings to secure you on the platform. I said, you know what? That's fine. I'll send. I even sent him.
No.
I really wanted to see how far this would go. I was so vested in it.
Dedication on your part.
I sent a 3K to him and I said, okay, what next? It's like, now, my boss and I are meeting. We'll call you together.
Hello, yes people. Welcome to another episode of The Yes Girls, where we, Claire
and Akumu,
say yes to doing, being, or learning something new and documenting our journeys.
Claire, did you know that smartphones reduce cognitive performance by, I think, 30%? Yeah, I think that's what they said over time.
Akumu, are you sure?
I can't remember where I read it, but I think that's true.
Akumu, clearly this episode couldn't come at a better time. Because this season we're saying yes to in-studio challenges to get to grips with must-have 21st century skills. And this episode's challenge is saying yes to learning digital literacy. Before we get stuck into sorting the wheat from the chaff, the wrong from the right, and the useful from the downright ridiculous, can we get a review of a recent episode?
Here's a very short piece of feedback that is more than enough, in just 3 words. It's from Roina Ochieng, and she said, "This is epic." Yeah, short, right? That was, of course, referring to our yesticle with Sally Kuria, a.k.a. the host of Mama Tales podcast. Take a listen to that episode if you want to hear what was so epic about it.
And if you've not yet rated and reviewed us, go and do it, pretty please. It really does help others to discover the show, and then they can be forever grateful to you for bringing a little more yes into their lives.
Anyway, time to get on with this episode and meet our experts.
So, this season, it's all about what we can do in studio, right here, right now, so that we can make it even more blindingly obvious that you and we can all say yes to something new, even if you're short on time.
So for today's episode on digital literacy, we have the ineffable Dr. Remember, I said Dr. Bright Gameli, that's PhD. He's a cybersecurity engineer and a researcher and co-founder of AfricaHackOn. Bright, should we call you Doctor, or how do you like to be referred to?
Oh, that's fine. Just Dr. Bright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just Dr. Bright. Just is bright.
Anything
Doctor.
we missed in your intro?
Nah, not really. Well, thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. Something that I'm very passionate about is being a community builder. I like to build communities of people to learn a lot of things about digital skills and be able to, be aware about things that they don't know. Instead of them reading all of the things, I'll do the reading and bring it out in a way that you can easily understand and articulate.
So what's an example of a way you build a community around that?
So I've been running something called AfricaHackOn for the past 10 years now. I've been training young people to become cybersecurity engineers in a good way, ethical, and become ethical cybersecurity experts. For example, I started teaching a kid who was 11. Now he's 18. Oh, wow. And right now he actually does work for me. Wow. And he pays his own school fees because he's one of the best hackers I've ever met.
At what age now?
He's now 18.
Wow.
So I wanted to create multiple types of Bright in different ways, where I give you the bare minimum and you will be able to actually multiply that to become, whatever you want to be in your own domain when it comes to, basically, to sum it up, creating a ripple effect.
That's very bright. I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So this episode, we're first going to carry out a challenge with Bright as judge, challenger, and all-seeing, all-knowing guest expert. Not to hype you up or anything, but that's what you are today. You'll then rate us, and then we'll get to hear from you about your professional trajectory, your top tips for being able to interact with the digital world in a safe, truthful, and productive way.
Okay.
Right?
So, Bright, tell us about our challenge today.
So the challenge is that currently, if you watch the news from everywhere, there's debates going on out there. There is, information. There's a lot of misinformation right now currently in Kenya. Because of the protests that have been going on, there are news from countries about fights that we're not too sure about. There are news from countries also in Africa claiming that X amount of people have been killed by this particular person and the likes. There have been so many hacks on Facebook. Some of your accounts that you get to see has a video of your friend saying, I just won X amount of cryptocurrency. And it's a video, not a picture. Videos saying, I won X amount of cryptocurrency, and trust me, it looks, I see them, they look very real. How will you be able to actually separate signal from noise? What I mean by that is, how would you be able to separate misinformation? Talking about pictures, talking about posts on X or WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook. How will you be able to verify a particular video is actually real and it's not fake? When is somebody who's actually speaking? I'll give a typical example again. Elon Musk the other day was speaking about him launching a crypto program. How would you be able to tell if that is real or not? There's a QR code also on the video.
Okay, so this is a general challenge. We're not talking about one piece of news, one website in particular. We could see, we're talking in general on social media, on Google,
Yes,
anywhere.
On
Instagram. And it could be photo, video, news,
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And just for context, the protests you're talking about are the major protests right now in Kenya that
Yes.
started against the finance bill and now, which were proposing high taxes, and
Yep.
now is just generally against the president, against corruption, against
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 every
the
MP.
entire government.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are pages that has phone numbers, has pictures. How do you even tell the picture or the phone numbers are real?
True, because not everyone knows MPs.
Yeah.
How they look, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a list shared of MPs' phone numbers, the ones who voted yes
Yeah.
to the
There's a
finance
website
bill.
created for that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, an entire
Dedicated
website.
Okay, so I guess we can just come up with a whole list, right?
Yeah.
Or the
Of things you do.
or the order, and not what we do, what we should do. Because
What
I
you
don't know
should
if we do
The
I
right
don't think of
thing.
examples. Because
Yeah.
I know right now. So when I'm part of a lot of WhatsApp groups, and some of them are very bad WhatsApp groups where so much junk gets posted.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, normally when you see it's forwarded, and when you see some bits in bold, and when you see spelling mistakes. I mean,
Yep.
spelling mistakes are probably the single biggest giveaway of fake news, in my opinion.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
But the problem that I found is sometimes even major media houses in Kenya, you can see major news articles from The Standard, from Nation,
Yep.
with spelling mistakes.
They're not doing their due diligence as well.
Yeah.
Apart from spelling mistakes, which is pretty common because they're trying to quickly write that. And some of them are going the chat GPT way.
Yes.
Kudos to AI now. Yes, you can write anything. You can impersonate anybody. They try to actually they don't even fact check those details before they even make a post out there about a particular information. So this challenge that I've given you is for us to be able to decipher that kind of information and how would you actually do it, and what is real from what is fake. From pictures to links to videos to, for example, there's this lady who has been trending, and everybody's in my DMs asking, "Is this true?" Saying if you see your call forwarding has been activated, you are being tracked, and I'm like,
By the government.
call forwarding, okay, when you call somebody, they're not there. It goes to a
That's
place
automatic.
where automatic saying, but everybody believes her. And it's trending. And the more people retweet it and say, oh
The
my
more-
goodness,
the more
more it
believable
goes,
it
the more believable it
becomes.
becomes. So
Yeah.
how can we verify such information? This is what I want to hear from you as
Yeah.
a challenge. You can walk me through your method of what you will do, where you will check. If you have a website that you want to basically think you will check, will be great to know. And I'll be able to judge that and also give you some more tips.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of news, it's usually I usually go
Not
and
just
check.
news, because they said even like a
If it's,
friend's video.
if it's a news article, for example, I usually go and check if it's in other big websites like
Yes.
BBC or
Exactly.
I don't even trust CNN. I don't think I trust CNN, Fox News, these ones. So I think I just trust BBC mostly. If it's on BBC or maybe, the UN
BBC,
websites.
AFP, right? Like international press agencies.
Deutsche Welle.
Al
that one?
Jazeera.
Al Jazeera, yes.
Yeah.
Deutsche Welle.
Deutsche Welle, yeah. Ones that you know for a fact, pun intended, really do their due diligence and really research, and they don't share. If somewhere like BBC, even when the protests were going on, I shared the link to the BBC News live coverage with my colleagues, saying like I would trust this to know what's going on. And usually, if they're not sure, they will say, eyewitnesses have said, like, we cannot verify this right now, but this is like our reporter has heard that at least 5 bodies have been seen, for example.
And I think journalists are not allowed to use social media posts as a source, right?
No, they're not
Eyewitness.
supposed to.
You
right?
can quote it, but you have to say
okay.
because they do quote, and BBC News these days quotes a lot from X and Instagram and shows external links.
But they don't call it eyewitness, do they? That's
No, they basically put the full details of exactly where they got it from.
Yeah.
But it's not that they can't verify, because you can't even verify that X account is real.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So they just use it as additional, but it's not like the main reason for the news. Okay.
So generally it sounds like that for
Unless
both
it's
of
verified
us.
account.
Okay. But can you really trust that these days, given you can just pay?
Well, because X, for example, have done the verification process because they can't verify you without your passport or your ID.
Okay.
And that if you fake it, they can tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is just make sure your brain is working. Because sometimes you'll see something parody, but just because it's a blue tick, you think it's verified.
They even fake blue ticks these days. People are Photoshop pictures.
What?
Yes. There's somebody who actually made a picture to look like it's one of the news stations, posted, and then put a blue tick. Basically, it was a quick Photoshop. And it was done so fast. I'm like, this person it's
clever.
It's on a mission.
So blue tick is not even a thing you should be looking at.
No, unless you go to the account itself and verify that particular information, you can't trust a picture with a blue tick.
Yeah, I mean, always go to what I've seen is anything that's linked on social media, go to that profile, check their history, check how many followers they have. I mean, if they're claiming to be some superstar, or like Safaricom on X or Twitter, I complained to Safaricom about something, and someone who had made a fake account called like
so many of
Safaricom
them, they
customer
respond.
care
Those guys
responded in inbox, asked for my number. I gave it. I didn't check because I assumed it was Safaricom responding, right? And that's what Safaricom does. They inbox you and then they ask for your number.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And then they might talk to you. And it's only when they called me and asked me to do some short codes, which I knew was dodgy.
They were
That's
hacking.
when I went to check. And, it was Safaricom customer care that has 10 followers or 0 followers.
Yeah.
So then it's fake. But if you don't check and you're quick...
Because the brain tells you
things quickly.
Safaricom and then you said,
Yes,
your brain
of course,
is
you
lying
trust
to you.
it.
Eh?
It's called social engineering.
It's social engineering at its best.
Because you see green and you see Sasco.
Social engineering is hacking the human brain, basically making sure that you believe something is true when it's not. And it's getting easier to actually social engineer people. And in the moment of when there's too much information flowing, social engineering is at the highest point. It's more successful
easier.
because you don't have time to fact check.
You don't,
It's been forwarded. And the person who is forwarding in a WhatsApp group is somebody you trust. Or, well, some of them are people you trusted. So you're like, this guy, he's a bright guy. Okay, don't pardon.
I was waiting for another one.
He's a bright guy, so he definitely must have checked those details before posting. And then you basically go out and just post, So we need to basically make a lot of fact checking for some of those things. Yeah.
And I found that the biggest culprits of spreading misinformation these days are actually the slightly older generation who aren't as good at fact checking or verifying on X or just on WhatsApp forwards. Like my mother-in-law.
My mum too.
I mean, the ones like, if you drink this thing every day, you will, or if you will you will get cancer, or you won't get cancer, or now there's this new scam, or just anything, and then they just forward, right, and they believe it, or breaking news. So number one is check it, like have a resource bank of trusted sources. I think if you already know, because like you say, CNN maybe you don't always believe because maybe they don't do they don't do their fact checking as well.
Yeah.
So have that resource bank of news sources that do fact check, and also don't just believe one source. I think cross checking from at least multiple.
So at least 3 of those news websites,
ideally,
right?
yeah.
And then you said forwarded many times. I never trust anything that says
Never
forwarded
trust anything
many
that's
times.
forwarded many times.
And you can't forward
And it comes from my mom. You just know.
Just anyone over what do I want to say? Over 50, let's say.
Yeah.
And they
my
forward you
goodness.
something.
And they're feeling
Big
like they've
pinch of salt.
and they feel like they've
Big.
done such given you a
They've saved
educating
your
you.
life.
I'm telling you, this is the truth. You better believe it.
Which we are educating my mom. Like every time she forwards us stuff, we tell mommy, you also have to verify. you know?
Verify,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think having that bank of trusted news sources, when it comes to multiple sources as well, right? I don't do this, but I think with images and news, things like that. Also, you mentioned earlier off the episode about reverse image searches, which I don't do. But especially when you see news articles saying like there's been an explosion in the DRC and they show an image, just reverse, and it's not from a verified
and it's easy.
source.
So their websites, and I think we need to discuss that after your challenge.
Yes.
Very simple websites that are available for you to actually verify those sources of details. I see people post, and then let me tell you something. When people are paid to actually share wrong information, they are paid to do that. They're the best Photoshop engineers, let me put it that way. They're the best videographers. They can feature anything into anything and they make it look so real. Look at what happened recently during the whole petition signing. People want to sign a petition and usually you go to, what's that page called? I forgot the name.
There's a big
Change.org,
Yeah.
right? Guess what? There's another fake one. Which is asking for your details. All of a sudden, there was another one which is now asking for your credit card details.
Oh, God.
For you to donate. So by the time you put the credit card details and your CVV number, you've already given it out. By the time you call your bank, they've used that credit card or debit card and they've shopped on your behalf. So far, so good that some website will not ask for a two-step verification. It's not going to ask for it.
Okay, that's crazy.
So there are people who are waiting this. They take the opportunity to just take advantage of exactly what is happening.
Yeah.
So wait, people are about to sign a petition. Let's create another one. And and then they're so silly. They're not even smart enough to use a domain that is very almost believable.
It
They
looks
use things
fake, right?
something.xyz, and I'm like, it's not even a top level domain.
But a lot of people don't check
They don't
things
check
like
those
that.
Yeah,
things.
and that's part
What-
of the photos
Yeah.
and the names that you never check.
I mean,
the
we
brain.
at work we have a cybersecurity like training that gets sent to our inbox every quarter, I think.
Yeah.
And they talk a lot about social engineering and like the obvious thing of just checking a link, right? If you get an email from an unknown source that tells you to click on a link and you hover over it, right? And it says like some
A whole lot of
dodgy
characters,
stuff. Yeah. Bunch of characters like hack my computer please .com.
Yeah.
And you go and click.
And you don't, or it's not got an HTTPS. Like the thing is, if no one's taught you these things or you've not researched them, you won't know.
There's
right?
one.
And you won't think to check even.
Yeah.
This-
But once you know that small trick, and it takes half a second to just hover over a link.
Yeah.
Or in a WhatsApp group when someone said sign this petition and the
Yeah.
link was AXZW,
Dot
like a bunch
XYZ.
of letters. Of course, I'm not going to click
And
on
then
that, but people will.
So the guys go for the XYZ details because they're easy to buy. And they're
They're
faster,
cheap, right?
they're cheap and everything, like at $2 and everything.
So that brings me on to the other aspect of the challenge you mentioned, which was if you have a friend who posts a video or any post, right? When someone posts, these days, normally there's the obvious type of hacking where someone's Facebook account might have a post saying, buy these Ray-Bans at $99. You know, the
Yeah.
really obvious ones. But you're talking about the more subtle ones where it really looks like the person.
Yep.
And or they might be asking, like I've been hacked on WhatsApp by a friend
Yep.
who keeps being hacked. They've got his name and his photo or several of his photos and they create multiple WhatsApp accounts and then they contact you asking for money. And a lot of people have fallen for it because we like this guy. right?
Yeah.
And we know sometimes he has financial trouble, so he asks like, help me with 2K. And if he does that to 200 people,
Why is it always 2K?
it's
2K sounds small
innocuous.
enough and not big enough. It's
Yeah,
like the
2,000
perfect
shillings.
amount.
Always 2K.
It
always
sounds
2K,
because it's innocuous. Yeah, you're like,
It's
I'll
like
help
small.
you out.
It's like
It's
easy for
never-
many
even
people
if I
to
don't
part
get
with.
it back, it's
Yeah.
okay, right? It's not going to change my
Because
life.
3 sounds a bit more.
It sounds a bit too
Yeah.
much. Five is
It's too much.
I'll just
Yeah. kind of
take a
lot.
beat.
It's always 2K.
Yeah.
And I never understand. 2K.
But how sure are you it's not the guy who's creating that?
No, so in this case, sorry, it's definitely hackers. It's and apparently there's a scheme in Kenyan prisons where someone pays
Kamiti.
prisoners to just set up these fake accounts and then call people, text people, and then I don't know how much they earn. Right? You're all nodding your heads like you all know this.
If they're continuing the business, it's
Yeah.
working.
It's
been working.
working, yeah.
I'll give
Absolutely.
a typical example that happened to me. This guy called me. He said, "Hi, Dr. Bright," and I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, first of all, he said Dr. Bright, so he's giving me that respect from the beginning. He's like, "Oh, we used to work at Cellulant together," and I'm like, "Okay, Cellulant is where I used to work back in the day." Then it's like, "Oh, I'm an engineer." First of all, there was no engineer that at Cellulant. We would have known. It was we're not that many. We would have known if there's somebody who has the title engineer. Something. So I knew, ding dong. I'm like, this is definitely a scammer. But you know what? Today I have time for you.
Oh God.
I will get into this.
Let's see how it plays out.
So he said, "Oh, my colleague will call you. He's going to. It's a tender we have to do." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Tender. What's the tender about?" It's like, "Oh, it's about cybersecurity for university. I think somewhere in." After Machaco, somewhere there. I said, "You know what? Send me the details." It's like, "Okay, my friend will call you." So the friend actually called after like 15 minutes, and they were very patient. 15 minutes, a guy called, "Hey, Daktari." Then he spoke a bit of Swahili. So Swahili better now because he knows. So they've done their research. They know exactly that I don't speak Swahili often. They know I'm a foreigner. So I just said like, yeah. I'm like, so I also replied to him and we have the conversation. It's like, so the tender. We'll send you the RFP right now, the request for proposal. And I said, send it to my actual work email. So I sent the email to him. He actually sent. I said, look, this is doable. We can get it done. He said, oh, but we need 3,000 Kenyan shillings to secure you on the platform. I said, you know what? That's fine. I'll send. I even sent him.
No.
I really wanted to see how far this will go. I was so vested in it.
Dedication on your part.
I sent a 3K to him and I said, okay, what next? It's like, now, my boss and I are meeting. We'll call you together in the next 5 minutes. He just stepped out. These guys were well organized. And I said, well organized. Like, he just stepped out, he got to the washroom. He's coming back right now. So they actually flashed. He flashed. So I'm like, okay, this is getting really serious.
It's like Oscar award winning. Wow.
So they came back. They're like, Daktari, so we're here. This is my friend. We're here together. So you've been in Kenya for some time. You know how things work. We need to actually grease the palms of the other committee members. They're meeting in the next 3 hours. Each person needs 20,000 Kenyan shillings, and there are about 15 of them. So I did the math. I'm like, hey, I told them, okay, listen, there's no guarantee that if I give you the 20,000 to each of those people, they're like, no, not the 15. We need only 10. 10 of them.
So he's like
clever.
negotiating.
Negotiating.
Wow.
I
Negotiating
said,
down.
okay, let's do this. How about I give you 40K now and another 40 when the tender award comes. And then by the way, I forgot one thing. They actually sent me an online receipt, which is there's a website you can actually generate an online receipt for client with a stamp. So it actually had the stamp of the university.
And they had also a logo.
Logo, everything.
Hey, wow.
So it looked believable. But the thing is, I have used that site before when I wanted to generate a quick online receipt. So I'm like, this is just a pro version. That means they actually paid for that account.
So it means they're making enough money from this scam.
It's a business.
Yeah.
So I told him, and once I get that word letter, I will send the rest. I mean, your engineer friend, say he was with a cellular, he trusts me, right? So I'm like, by the way, which department were you? I can't remember. The guy's like,
You reverse engineered
Yeah.
social
so
engineering.
the
That's
guy's
how you
like,
get them.
I was with this other guy, so I could hear them clicking, they're typing to see colleagues are selling that.
Oh my goodness.
Then he mentioned a name of a guy who was not even there when I was there. So I'm like, okay, clearly these guys are on the fly. So I told him, okay, well, to send you the cash, I will need my finance guy to get details. I'm going to send you a form, but let me get my finance guy to prepare the cash. So I waited for 2 hours. Because they said 3 hours, so they kept on calling me. I'm like, listen, he's on the way. He's about to. So quickly generated a link. So I can send you a link. If you click on it and you click allow, it sends me the exact GPS location and the phone type, everything, your processor, laptop, everything. So you can do it either by using a Google Doc, a Google form, Google Doc, but I use a Google form, or I can use a website. So I created a Google Doc, say M-Pesa payment, petty cash. And I put the details you need. Name, first name, second name, last name, middle one, optional, last name, mandatory. And I ask for phone number, details, the amount in numbers, amount in words. To make it look believable. And I put a logo, our logo there. I laced it and I sent it to him. I said, you need to fill this right now because the guy is about to leave. It's Friday afternoon. He's about to close shop. He needs to send you that M-Pesa now. He clicked so many times. I'm just there like, oh, God. He clicked. He filled the form. Full name, numbers. Took his phone number, did a research on him, found his details, got his email. When I get your email, I can tell everything about you. Airbnbs you have been to back in the day, I can tell details about.
Scary stuff.
I can tell details about restaurants you visit quite frequently. But I was even lucky. He even had details about the butchery he goes to quite frequently. So I took a screenshot of the butchery, took a screenshot of his location at the gate. He had a red gate somewhere in Machakos. And I said,
this was not committee.
No.
Interesting.
So I told the guy. So we had a conversation. He actually called, and I'm like, he went on, and I said, engineer, wait, you chose the wrong target. You clearly see I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Why would you choose me as a target?
Seriously, that is just dumb.
I actually recorded that audio somewhere.
Wow.
So he's like, the economy is hard and everything. So like, Sasa, now that you've caught me, so you just
You're
send me
about
2K.
to blame the government.
Yes, I just
Wait,
sent
he
me
said
2K.
now you
2K.
probably send me 2K still.
Because just tell me 2K to buy some
So now
lunch
it's 5K
today.
because you had sent 3.
You'd already sent him money. Yeah.
So I told him I've already sent you 3K, so now why am I sending more cash? And he's like, everything is bad. And I'm like, so I'm sending DCI to you. It's like, you know what? He's like, this was his response. I kid you not. I'm a former DCI cop. So when you come, I'll pay them 20% of what you would have sent me. So there's no point. Don't send. So I'm like, hey. He's like, yeah.
That might be true. That might not.
So he said,
you never know.
Exactly. And he was bluffing, I could tell. But he's saying that.
But that is smart business.
He's very
Jesus.
smart.
He's very confident.
That's
So the way
very
he
smart,
said
very
it,
confident.
even I was confused. Like, really? DCI would take that money? The way he said it sounded like.
Even you were scared.
I was like, no way. So anyway, there's no point of reporting him anyway. I just told him, look, I have all the information. I've sent it to your WhatsApp just in case you need it. And here it is. After that, I blocked him.
Wow.
My goodness.
So my takeaway from that is, number one, let it play out and see how far
Okay,
it will
I
go.
don't have that time.
If you have the time.
That day I had time.
Number two, if you do things with confidence, you can lie a lot,
Which
right?
they
And
do
you
a
can
lot.
scam people. And I think what you said about they'd researched it, right? They came in with confidence, they researched it, they blinded you with facts that made you feel comfortable, and that's how social engineering works.
Yes, the RFP looks so believable.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
Even
something.
the fact that
And
they're using
saying they knew
RFP just sounds
it was a
very
proper
Yeah.
RFP. The document was heavy. It was
God.
fully loaded. Like
That sounds
But the fact
anybody
that
would
they
have believed
said
that.
we work together at Salient, they used something that made you feel, okay, I know this person. There's
Yeah.
a link, so I should trust them.
People would have fallen for that easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So never. If me my rule right now, if we are not friends, if you're not in my circle,
Yeah.
I don't care what problem you're going through. I'm not gonna send any money. Whether you are, if you're that distant, I'm sorry.
But you see,
can't.
we are a bit aware. So now I'm worried about the older generation.
Yes,
A lot of
They send.
grandmothers and mothers are being
they're
scammed
all getting scammed. Yeah.
right now. Like,
Yes,
and not
that's true.
even via M-Pesa. M-Pesa, you know what these cyber criminals have developed? They know M-Pesa can be blocked easily, can be reversed. You know what takes longer to investigate? Banking transaction. So they go for the banks. They go for things that they know the bank would take forever to
Yeah. To
investigate.
reverse, yeah.
You're too old to go start at the bank and asking, I want an update, I want an update. So they would never. So they're going for banking information. And I'm not gonna mention which bank, but the specific banks that they target in Kenya, where they know when they have a username or password or something or the details, it's easy to social engineer you to actually log in. So they call and say, hey, you're from the support part of the bank A, B, C, D, E, F. Your account is having fraudulent transactions. And then guess what? They push notifications to you, which are messages from a normal number. They push notifications to you. So you think your
think it's
number
the
is
bank.
actually having a lot of details.
Yeah.
So to stop that, we need to log in right now. We can assist you. Can you log in on your computer? No? Okay, we'll do it for you. What is your password? At that time, you're panicking because all the savings you've had
Of course.
and your sons and your daughters have sent you cash and everything is there. You quickly give them the password. They're like, oh, there's a number coming to you, your OTP. Boom.
And everything is gone. This is the beginning of Beekeeper, actually, the movie, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And when they move the money, here's the thing. They actually move it to another bank in the country, nice and easy. They're not even scared. So my question is, why are the banks not even taking the action of being able to investigate such cases very nice and smoothly?
And I think the problem is that once you give your password or anything, they have a lot less sympathy for you because they think you've fallen for it. A friend of mine who's physically disabled to use her card, she has to trust you with the PIN, right? She has to give you her, because her hands don't work enough to use her credit card. So she'll with her carers, the carers have to put the card in and put the PIN in. When the carers stole the card, went and spent money.
Oh my
So she goes to the police, but then, madam, you gave them your PIN.
But isn't that part of the data privacy thing where it's out of their hands if I am the one who provided the information? Like,
Exactly.
that's why the banks
Yeah.
tell us
It's
don't
debatable.
give the
Exactly.
PIN
They
because they
warn
can't do
you.
anything. You did it.
Well, they
But the thing
can.
is, they
It's up
can.
to their discretion, but I think legally
should
they
be-
can probably say
they can-
you
yeah.
gave that information.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Exactly.
like kind
So
of
they
grey
have-
But
area.
the thing is,
So they have
where
less
is the
sympathy for you.
record of the fact that I actually gave up my PIN? Some of them,
It's so grey area.
it's a gray area. So sometimes
Yeah.
there is a fact that I gave up my PIN. There are other times somebody internally in the banks are the ones who are responsible for moving the money. So all of a sudden your cash is gone and you don't even know where it is. So there's a lot, we call that insider threats. Insider threat is one of the biggest issues a lot of banks are facing because they're not monitoring. They're not putting any kind of anti-money laundering or anti-theft solutions to be able to detect such things happening quite frequently. And they also don't have a proper training for the forensic teams to be able to actually do that.
And to find
Aside
to trace.
from these internal things is now one of my biggest issues, and that is what is affecting a lot of young men and women. We call it sextortion. Sextortion is becoming the biggest issues being faced by a lot of young people right now. Oh, not just young people, older people, because I even know the pastor who actually got. Oh, it was bad. So this is how it works.
They have a lot more to lose.
Exactly. They basically send you a message using Instagram or Facebook, usually Facebook. So they create another picture, a page. So Claire, a lot of pictures are about you. We know your full names. We know your activities. So every time you post, they post. You post, they post. They keep on posting at the same time you post.
The same thing.
For
Same
a while.
things. So you post a picture, they download the picture, they post. You post a video, they download the video, they post. You post an update, they post. And yours, Claire Baker, right? Yeah. So they'll put Claire G. Baker. It looks the same. It looks similar. They use that to now send another friend request. Oh, I lost my other account. This is my new account. Ignore the other one. It's been hacked. So every time
my
you don't
goodness.
chat with that person often, they are chatting without the new account. That conversation keeps on going on and on and on, and then they now have this trusted person, and they say, "Hey, Claire, I've always had feelings for you." Nah, 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 nah. They start talking.
My goodness.
So they think it's Claire saying that, but they say, "Oh, you know what? Oh, this is now for money extortion.
Yeah.
Send me X amount of money, I'll pay you back." But sextortion, they basically just use they use your profile on another person who doesn't even know you existed. But they can see you posting normal family life and everything. That person believes that this is you.
Yeah.
So in a video conversation, they actually have pre-recorded videos where they play, and that video comes up in a video they usually use Skype for conversation. And they use Skype conversation, and then they play that video, Skype plays, and they say, "Oh, now that I've showed you my private parts, you also showed me yours." And the person also shows, at that point they're recording.
But there's no face, right?
No, they have a face they recorded already.
But your face, Claire's face.
No.
Or it could be photos.
It's a photo, so they Photoshop.
Okay.
But most of the time they don't show a face, they show just the parts that you're interested
that is
in.
Dangerous.
Most men fall for that very easily.
Yeah.
They actually, according to statistics and a research that I did before, most men fell for that. Part of my master's, my PhD dissertation was to see how the algorithm of social media actually works. And I created a fake account on one of the social media accounts, or pages, on Facebook actually. And I liked 3 women. No, I put pictures of random pictures I saw on the internet on page 20. And after adding a few other ladies who had the same bodily features, and the men that they were actually following, and I followed them as well, Facebook automatically started spreading my fake account to them. And more men who like such features, all of them gathered. I had to automate the accepting of accounts.
No.
Accept. In less than 2 hours, we got my account full. And the DMs, even a Kenyan banker gave me access to a portal with his account. It's an experiment that I did.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
And people were just sending videos, and others were wanting to engage in, sexual conversations. So that sextortion actually happens to a lot of people, and young people, they die. Once they start telling you, "We have your videos right now, we have your pictures, we're going to send it to all your friends if you don't pay."
Yeah.
People pay a lot of money.
How much?
Others have committed suicide.
Yeah.
A lot. It's a big case right now. So it's a lot of awareness we need to do around that. Whoever you're communicating with, who you're talking to, you need to be very careful what conversation you exchange with that person.
Ooh.
So
Now,
the
with
one
that
thing
communication,
with
how
that-
would you know?
Yeah, I mean, with all, like you're saying, someone might post a video saying something. How do you know if it's true? If someone's communicating with you on Facebook, whatever. I think if you're befriending someone that you don't know on social media, that's a bad idea to begin with.
It
So
is,
let me
but-
just forget that for a second. 'cause
Yeah,
that
but
one-
people are very...
It depends on what you're going to do with them.
yeah.
And then some of them are real. That's another thing.
Yeah.
There is those, because
But that one's very hard to verify.
it's very hard to verify.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the kind of things they ask you to do,
Oh yeah.
you have to be very careful about what to
Yeah.
send.
Once there's
Just don't
once there's
send-
red flags, I think, like we said, that young people right now, it's very young people, older people, or vulnerable people who
Yeah.
are more likely to fall for things like that. But it can happen to
It
anyone.
can happen to anyone, yeah.
Because if you don't know the red flags and you get so far down the line, you think you know this person, they ask you for some suggestive images. We've probably all done something similar to that in the past, right? And not got caught out. But if someone really came in with malicious intent, we could really have got caught out. Let's all think back to stuff we've done in our youth.
Okay, me, I don't do
I'm
that
sure-
to strangers.
No,
Not
but
with
there's
strangers.
even just messages you've exchanged. I don't know. There's probably things where you think,
And you
actually,
see,
if someone was
in a day and
really...
age where people on social media don't care to verify the information before they post. Look at it this way. Somebody actually threatened me that before, just because I liked the picture. She asked for money and sent a phone number. I said, "I'm not going to send you money." She tried to actually said she can fake a message and say that I'm trying to get her and everything. So she wanted to send a message to one of the bloggers So I basically had to teach her a lesson.
Again, she picked on the wrong person.
Oh, she did. I taught her a proper lesson, and I said, you chose the wrong target today. Now let me show you how scamming can work.
You know, you probably should send her some money as a thank you for giving you such a useful case study that you probably use in your classes now.
Yeah, now she can
She
try
needs
to
a
copyright.
commission.
Oh man, she blocked me
Copyright for the
so
story.
fast. She's like, okay, but my biggest worry about all of this is the fact that we are at an age where AI is coming in.
They can make fake videos of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are videos of people whose
Yeah.
account have been hacked, and all of a sudden you're seeing them posting, the guys, guess what? I won X amount of money. I invested X amount of money in crypto. And so as I look at some of them, I'm like, come on, you don't have a British accent, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why all of a sudden it's your face, but it's a British accent or it's an American accent. And again, it gets worse. People can actually copy your voice. It's actually your voice, but just that the accent is not the same.
Yeah.
So AI, as good as it is, people have malicious intent. So we need to be very careful as to what information are we getting and how are we using that information and how we dig in for that information.
And I think for me, even if you have because if you're not going to leave social media, then have friends who you have on your followership. So whatever you're posting, they can ask you, hey, what's up? You know, some of my friends, if they see me posting something, even if it's maybe they find it too sad, they ask me, are you okay? You get so maybe such accountability people actually help to keep your account, you know, normal. They see something different, they can check on you.
Well, and vice versa. I was going to say, how would I verify, or how can we verify things that our friends are posting? And that's where I said, if you've befriended someone online that you've never met, we'd have to think about that separately. But going back to the list that we're supposed to be making for this challenge, if I see someone on any social media and I know them, and there's something which seems unbelievable, call them.
Call them.
Start by sending them a
it,
message and send them something which maybe only they could respond to. Right? Like, are you okay? Like, you can start with, are you okay? But
can I call you?
You know, ideally call them. I've had friends, I had an actual friend who texted me and asked me for a major loan, like quite a lot of money, right? Like more than 100,000 shillings, like more than $1,000. And I thought it was quite out of character. So I called her straight away, right? And saying, okay, I just wanted to verify. Can you tell me more? Of course, you can fake someone's voice, but you know, if you call them right away and call them out on it, it's unlikely that the person who sent you that message and faked it can have a whole conversation with you,
that
right?
doesn't have
and with unpredictable
Pointed to their head.
Unless exactly. That's different. That's not even cyber. That's not even a cyber crime. That's an in-person
that's
crime.
purely criminal.
So definitely anything on social media, even WhatsApp, like this. The reason we knew that my friend's WhatsApp was being hacked was someone actually called him. And he said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't ask you for money.
Yeah,
right?
because if it's off their normal things that they post, you have to call it out. Yeah.
Or if you don't have them on phone, sometimes you have people on social media, you don't have their phone numbers. Maybe you have them on a different channel, right? They post something on Instagram, message them on Facebook, for example, or message them on Instagram, and if they respond, also message them on Facebook. If you get the same response, or they say, hey, you've already messaged me, you know, and you can recognize your friend's tone, then it's probably them. Because tone of voice as well. And that's why even when my friend asked me for money on WhatsApp, it wasn't the way she normally spoke to me. So for me, there was a red flag. It was legit, but I just couldn't lend her money.
And that's where social engineering now works for the benefit. Because you know this person, like me, people who chat with me know I'm always using multiple emojis. So when you find me using some weird emojis, you know that's not me.
That's not true.
You know, so that's where we are engineered to understand Claire talks like this.
Yes,
this person talks like
exactly.
This. So it works.
Knowing your friend's tone, spelling, punctuation. You know, if you receive a professional email from me that's full of spelling mistakes, don't trust it, right?
Clearly.
But if you receive a WhatsApp from me with spelling mistakes, that's
a script with spelling mistakes.
but not the sort of spelling mistakes like
not the dumb ones.
Yeah, not the dumb ones, but just like random letters. That's my sort of spelling mistake. So you would know it's me because I might spell Akumu AKUJMU.
Because I know it's the spelling mistake of writing quickly, not
Exactly. Not that I don't know how to spell.
Illiteracy, yeah.
So knowing your friends very well, being able to detect that sort of thing, knowing what they're normally into, and verifying it from a different channel.
Like call.
Call is ideal.
Yeah.
But if you don't have call, it could be email, it could be,
You just have to verify from multiple sources.
From multiple
sources is very smart. I've never thought about this.
Yeah. Okay. But then I think if you don't know them in person, that could be harder, but you could reach out to people that know them.
At times also it's difficult because it could be a new group that you're part of. There's a new, because there's a time I got a job and we just got paid on 26th. And then all of a sudden by 30th, this guy was asking me, hey, could you lend me 12K?
Where?
And I was like, we just
4
got
days.
paid. Not knowing he was drugged. And the ladies who drugged him were the ones sending the message to everybody. And you see, I sent quickly without checking because I didn't want to feel like, okay, it's just 12K. And he'll pay me back.
Your friend, right?
It's my new
job. It's not a friend, it's a new job, it's a new guy I knew.
Yeah.
He's one of the coolest guys I've met. So I fell for it. A few people fell for it. But later we got to realize, nope, he was drugged.
Oh my God. So they dragged him and then they got his
Used his
password.
fingerprint.
And they
To unlock his
password.
phone.
Or what? You are sending to his number or another number?
No, to his number.
So how would they access the money?
No, by the way he was drugged, it's not he's fully out.
Aha, so he's still somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can send it to the money, and then it's happened to me
No,
before.
but that particular one, they told me to send to another number. Yeah.
Because if they don't have the PIN.
Yeah, they don't have the PIN to transfer. So like, hey, could you send to this number? I'm a bit stranded. I'll pay you back, please.
And someone can easily say, my phone is dead, send to this number. Very easy.
No, it was,
Right?
they use his number to WhatsApp.
And why would you send to another number?
Because
You
people
didn't
do
question.
Yeah,
Okay,
you have
true.
multiple numbers.
Because I'm with this person, send to them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, or you send straight to, or you withdraw.
I've been arrested.
Instead of
So
sending
Even
to
that
me,
is a point
you withdraw.
is a red flag.
Yeah.
Because if someone is asking you for money, but you're sending it to someone else, even in a
But
restaurant.
it often happens.
When
Do you
you're
know even-
arrested,
even
when you're
this
arrested, people
often
tell you, I've been
happens.
arrested, send it to this number.
That's a red flag already. In a restaurant, even
But
when
if it's
a
someone you
bartender.
know-
No, it's
The
still a red
thing,
flag.
social engineering, again, you're saying this is someone who you just started working with. You're not going to ask them, hey, that's weird. Why are you giving me another number? No, you just say, okay, I want to help you. And, you think quickly.
Me, I
It's happened
believe
to
in
me. I've been
guilty
caught
until
out.
proven innocent.
So good. Maybe you wouldn't be caught out by this.
Because there's a bar also, a bar in Nairobi where the bartender told us, so don't send to the PBL, send to... That is always a red flag in my head.
Yeah.
Why am I not sending to the business? And if you're my friend, why am I not sending to your number? Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've listed out a few things, right? The main takeaway is multiple sources. If there's someone, have credible sources that you can trust. Reverse image search. If it's a person, either check with them through another source or multiple sources. Check with people who know them, right? For example, in that case with your colleague, maybe you could have checked with another colleague. Like,
I should have.
Yeah.
Actually, I did
Does
right
this
after.
person-
Then I was like, they're like, no, right, we actually can find him. We don't know where he is.
Yeah.
The wife has
I
been
think I
calling.
checked with someone
Pattern
else.
recognition. If it's
Yeah.
off pattern of
Yes.
this person,
Of
how they
behavior,
speak,
their tone,
that's a
the
red
way they
flag.
write.
That's a red
Exactly.
flag.
Yeah.
Checking links, checking the HTML, the hovering over links to know, or just seeing the links on social media.
And there's another one we haven't mentioned, because even if you get a link of a news about a company, let's say company Nordstage, right? To verify, sometimes it's not in BBC, right? It's local news, right? So sometimes how to verify is I'd go to Nordstage. If the news is about Nordstage, then I'd go to the Nordstage website.
Yes.
Have they written that news? If they haven't written it, then maybe it could be fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for local companies, usually
Yeah.
they do that.
Yeah. Any other major ones? Well, I think that's
we'll
how
add-
far we've got, right?
That's
in more than 10 minutes. So now let's take a quick breather, and then Bright, you will tell us how you think we did,
Okay.
and then give us a rating.
Sure.
So Bright, tell us, how do you think we did? What did we miss, and what can you add to that list?
So I think you guys did pretty well. You've been able to bring out the main points of what to check, cross-checking, fact-checking, checking website. That's really good. I find that really credible because you need to actually go to the real website to find out if it's there and all. Maybe what I think I need to add is a few new techniques that are happening and why websites that you should be using.
Okay.
So the first one is, it's a trick that people are not even looking out for. The unsubscribe button in emails is a new way because people send you so many emails to the point that when you have to click on unsubscribe, instead of reporting it as spam, you click on that, you've been hacked.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, so the
so
unsubscribe
mean.
button is the hack.
Is the hack.
That's how they hack you.
Okay,
Because
that
they
is
only
totally
need
smart
you.
and totally mean.
So they just bombard you with emails until you gonna press unsubscribe.
So this is what they want. They want you to be able to click on a link and they capture what they call your cache and cookies. So for example, if you ever get hacked, you feel you've been hacked, the first thing to do is to clear your cache and cookies or cache, wherever you come from.
Clear the cache.
Cache and cookies immediately, and then you change any password you have with a different browser or something like that. So they want to capture that moment because if you're still logged in into an email, for example, and your cache and cookies are still having captured by the attacker, they basically can log in as you, miles away. That is how Facebook and Instagram accounts are being compromised.
So how are we meant to avoid this cache thing? Like you clear caches every week or what?
I clear weekly.
Serious?
Yeah.
What?
I clear my cookies every week, just because it's a habit now. So you have to develop such habits. Second thing, that video I told you about Elon Musk talking about crypto. The original video is not crypto. The original video is about EV, new EVs that are coming, the armored car and everything, right? But there's another video on YouTube with equally thousands of viewers, which has saying, we've launched our crypto rig and everything. It sounded exactly like him, and they had a QR code. When you scan the QR code, it's a crypto wallet for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others, and tells you to send money to that, and it's going to multiply by X amount. People actually believed it.
Everything for sending money before anything doesn't know. It's a hack, right?
People actually want to make quick money.
Aye.
I did an investigation on that wallet, and by the time that video was posted and money was sent, $28,000 was gone. But that's little. That's small because most money we see is hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So that's one. The other thing is URLs. You can hover over a link, which is fine, but you can't really tell if that link is legitimate or not. If you go to a website called Virus Total, virus, VIRUS, virustotal.com, you can upload an attachment you got before or the URL, paste it there, and check. It will let you know out of many antivirus scanners will tell you this is it's a virus link, it's a phishing link most probably, or contains some sort of a malware or something.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So out of 40, to tell you 3 of them are malicious, are flagging this as malicious. So it might not contain a malware, but it's collecting information. So doing the whole petition signing thing that was going on recently, it was going on every WhatsApp groups. That was the place that I went to check. It didn't have a malicious link. At first, I thought it was malicious link. When I said it was malware, somebody said that's misinformation. I'm like, okay, well, it's malicious in the sense of it's collecting information. So
yeah, illegal.
That. Another thing to look out for, which I think we all are blinded to, is when WhatsApp messages are being forwarded, whenever it's a scam, it's always in bold. It's always in bold.
Why?
It's because it's a way to actually capture your attention.
Yeah.
To do that. And they use keywords as like alert.
Creating urgency, right?
Urgent.
Creating a sense of urgency.
Now. And then they put exclamation marks and everything. I don't know why the people are so stupid to send such things like this. But the thing is,
works.
they still do. It
and
works.
It works, unfortunately.
I mean, the easiest is the crypto scammers. So there's so many crypto scams which I think everybody needs to be aware of. They send you crypto scams, they're not even crypto scams. They're just scams which make it look like you're going to win a lot of money when you actually put in an amount of money. So you can do a reverse image search by going to a website called PIMEYES, PIMEYES, PIMEYES.com.
Eyes.
Yes,
Eyes like eyes.
like your eyes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
PIM.
PIM.
Okay, PIM.
So when you go there, you can take a picture of yourself and accept the terms.
I did this before the episode. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, we found Claire in very crazy websites.
No, don't scare people.
It basically,
Go check Claire right now.
So you can actually upload a picture or take a picture of yourself. It tells you websites that you have been mentioning, website that your picture have been used.
Wow.
You don't even know about. If you pay for it now, you can go to those websites, but it gives you an idea of exactly where your pictures have been used. I like doing that once in a while just to check where my pictures have been used, and it's getting incredible and weird of where my pictures have been used.
OnlyFans.
Nope. I actually use that sometime to find out the reason why people have been telling me, "Oh, you look familiar," and not from TV, but from Tinder. And I'm like, I don't have a Tinder account.
So it can also find Tinder, Bumble.
Yeah.
Wow.
So somebody
Catfish.
told me, like,
Should I be insulted that no one's used my
Tinder.
picture
So the person
on
was
Tinder?
telling me.
Not yet.
The person was
Guys,
telling
put
me
Claire on Tinder.
is actually from a different country because people in Kenya knew me. So this person is from TZ. It's
Clever.
like, I
Your
know
face
you. Your
and their
face,
TZ.
and yeah, your face
Yeah.
is. So that's what I got to find out, and I reported it, and it got taken down. The other thing that we need to be very aware of is that, and I keep on saying this, your email serves as the base of every security. So everything you need to do, secure your email first. Forget everything. Secure your email. So basic email security is having your two-step verification activated. There's something called a backup code, which is usually under the two-step verification. Or extra now they've done is to add, apart from the phone number, the two-step verification, they've added Google or Microsoft Authenticator.
The app. Oh,
The
I
app.
have it.
It's really helpful. So in case you ever lose your account, you can always get back. Or if you lose your account or your phone, you can actually find other ways to be able to get it back. That is really important because every time you now put two-step verification on your social media account, which everybody should do right now, your WhatsApp, Instagram, X, name it, all of those will basically form as a basis to go back to your email to verify.
So your email has to have two-factor.
There's a thing that has been going on now where WhatsApp has been hacked a lot. Some people don't even know how it has happened. If that happens and you can't get back your account and you got a new phone number, got a new SIM card and you try to authenticate WhatsApp, it will first refuse because the other guy is still using it.
Oh my.
What you need to do is to request so many times, it will eventually come. Yeah.
But even a hacker can do that then.
No, because they're using it already.
Wait,
But
so
once-
if you're using it and then someone wants to use
At
it.
that point, you don't have two-step verification.
Okay.
But it says it wants to authenticate that it's you, the verification code. You keep on asking for it so many times, it eventually sends to this phone number,
That's
the
asking
SIM
many
card that
times.
is active. That doesn't send to the person online.
Oh, they are online on the website.
Either
thing.
website or
okay,
on where they've actually got to hack you and everything. So you have to keep on doing that. So those are basics of things that have to be done. If you are that important and you know your life depends on a particular social media and the likes, pay for the premium version if you have to. For example, X, where you have to pay an amount of money for a verified account, get verified.
They're safer.
Safer because you get a faster report. However, the easiest way to recover things like an Instagram account is to have pictures of yourself
On the Instagram.
on the Instagram. If you have pictures of yourself on Instagram, it
Yeah.
actually recognizes all your facial recognition details and be able to actually recover your account back easier.
So actually, when people say I don't want to have pictures of myself online, it's
so you're
safer.
asking for
have at least
hacking.
one
Have
picture
one
of
or two.
yourself.
So once in a while, I post because I post a lot of memes. on
Oh yeah,
Instagram
yours
and
yours can be hacked sometimes.
So I like to, once in a while post a picture of myself. So Instagram knows that it's
That
just
is
me.
actually you.
So those are the things. Apart from that, everything else you've mentioned, being alert, double checking, confirming, asking people questions and everything, that is a way to go.
Wow. So, out of 10, how would you rate us?
I'll rate you at 7.5.
That's not bad.
That's cool.
Yeah, 7.
Wait, how do we verify this? We need to check multiple sources. This is really the rating. that
Okay,
we deserve.
Rioba, we cannot trust Rioba, now we know.
We can't trust him, he's biased.
If you added website links and everything and the likes, then. But there's one website which I can't remember the detail, but if you Google Geospy, Geospy AI.
Geo.
Geo Spy.
Geospy.
So Geospy AI works similar like PMIs, but this does reverse image search on pictures. For example,
Oh, wow.
people post a video, a picture about a protest. They said, this protest is happening in Kenya. I've actually checked some of them. Like there's one that was posted the other day. It's just a fire festival in Ghana some years back. It wasn't Githurai.
Actually, 2 days ago, I saw one. The caption, the placard had a very nice message that works for Kenyan situation.
Yeah.
But I looked closely at the image. There was a white hand, and I was just like, okay, this could be any
Yeah,
any
and
country.
generative AI is here to be able to generate such pictures. So
Wow.
when you upload a picture to that website, it uses AI to scan the background images and the authenticity of that
Nice.
detail and tell you this is
Where
fake,
it's from.
this is where it's from, and everything. So you can verify some of those. So those are basically the do's and don'ts
Okay.
of all of those.
And we need to help our parents do this.
Yeah.
We need
Like
to.
me and my sister helped my mom do
But-
2-step on Gmail.
Help them to set up those authentications. Because what's funny is a lot of the tools you're mentioning, at the root of them, it's similar to what we do in real life. If I were to tell you, I won the lottery, and you say, wait, which lottery? How? How much did you win? How do you know it's real? You'd ask all these questions, but then
Yeah.
sometimes you see something online and you just accept it.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
ask. So I think if we actually do what we do in IRL,
In real life, because
apply that.
are you sure?
Yeah, how do you know? How sure are you?
Yeah.
If we actually apply a lot of what we do in real life to online life, maybe we'd all be a bit better off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the older generation.
So
right?
basically, you're saying guilty until proven innocent. Everything online.
Kind
Yep.
of, yeah.
Yes.
So that was one more question we have for you before we wrap up, right? Is in this age where the digital world appears sometimes to actually be taking over or be more than the real world, is it better to actually just focus on the digital, as we have in this episode? Or do you see us striking the right balance in the long term and becoming responsible digital citizens and, walking the fine line of what's real, what's not, what's online, what's not? That's a very big question.
A few years ago, you want to make a phone call, you have to put in a coin. You want to make a phone call, you have to dial. If you want to send an email, you have to hear a dial tone and everything.
Yeah.
Now, internet is everywhere. Communication is almost free. Internet is almost free. We have faster speeds and everything. We cannot go back. So the internet is here to stay. AI is here to stay. Information is here to stay. A lot of regulatory processes are being generated to be able to actually curb how that information is being misused and everything. It will take some time because you just can't control the fingers on the keyboard. So we have to embrace whatever is happening right now and try to make sure that we create that ripple effect of making sure that we can educate more people to be more aware. Happy that this podcast is happening, that it can reach thousands of people, if not millions, to make sure they can always try to separate signal from noise. There's a lot of noise out there. We have to separate signal from that noise and make sure that we are able to overpower the misinformation, because we can't go back and say we don't want to use the internet.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're telling a teacher, I'm a lecturer as well. I lecture at Strathmore University. I teach 5 cybersecurity courses. And if I tell my students, I gave them an assignment, and just before this podcast, I was having a lecture, and I can tell this is ChatGPT. It's fine. I said, look, my classes you can use ChatGPT. It's fine, but on the day for the exam, when you're presenting, if you don't know your stuff, you don't know your stuff.
Yeah.
It's clear. So it's here to stay. We can't fight it. The only way we can fight, we can, but we can only do that by being able to push more positive aspects of how to be able to use this responsibly and bring a better world.
Perfect answer.
Okay.
At least that ends it on a high note, on a, what do you call it, an optimistic note, because a lot of what we've been talking about today has been rather on the negative.
Right.
But I like that you're saying, we can actually use it for good.
And it has changed the world, really,
Yeah.
positively so. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Bright, where can we find you online, where you want to be found?
I'm everywhere.
We'll do reverse image
I tell
search.
people I'm the easiest person to find. I tell people my phone number is public, but if you try to misuse it, I will also make sure that I misuse yours as well. Not in a bad way, but I'll make sure you pay.
Quite literally.
Instagram is people think because I have 63,000 followers, I don't respond. I respond. It just takes time, but I eventually respond. On X, I'm there. I respond. On LinkedIn, I take time, but I respond eventually.
Okay.
Those are the 3 main social media pages.
What are the tags? The same?
And what are your tags?
Bright
At Bright Gameli.
At Bright
Everywhere.
Gameli.
That's for Instagram. On X is Bright. It's actually Bright Zed. Z-E-D.
Don't give away too much. The rest our listeners
But
can
actually,
find
you
with
can
some
find.
with
Find
some
in the
research.
description.
So
Yeah.
Bright Gameli on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Bright Zed on X. LinkedIn is Bright Gameli Maudo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you go to my website, brightzed.com, you'll find a lot of information about me.
That's
But
where we
just-
got the information to do your intro, by
But
the
just
way.
Googling my details are out there.
So you can, of course, find the Yes Girls on all social media platforms at the Yes Girls Podcast. We are very easy to find. Why not send this episode to a friend who maybe has ambitions to be a high-flying digital citizen or the hacker of the future? Or send a favorite episode to a neighborhood WhatsApp group. Tell
Or
them
to
to
your
find you.
mum.
To your mum.
Yes.
Share the do, be, learn, love. You never know what you might make happen.
And now some thank yous.
We spread real news about how much we love our marvelous producers, Sampisha Productions, Rioba and Ernest at Snowball Industries, Nairobi.
And we have just the content to thank Pedro Bryan, the phenomenal musician who composed our theme song, as well as Kags, who designed our non-fake news logo.
Right, one more thing before you go that we ask all of our guests. What is something that you've recently said yes to?
Wow.
As big or as small as you like.
I said yes to learning new things.
Well,
Example?
An example?
An example, I said yes to change. Before, it was very difficult for me to change something. For example, this is me on this trajectory of career. I don't want to change. I think this is just going to be it. But recently, I said yes to learning, to change into completely something very uncomfortable. And it's been great so far.
Nice.
Very fulfilling. So, Yep.
Well, we look forward to seeing more and we wish you all the best of luck with that. Keep
you.
saying yes.
Keep
I will
saying
keep on saying yes.
We advocate for saying yes.
Yeah.
When it's not illegal or dangerous. Disclaimer.
Yeah. And it doesn't kill anyone or hurt
Yeah.
anyone. So see you in the next episode for more saying yes to 21st century life skills with a live studio guest, because I am Akumu.
And I'm Claire.
And together we are the Yes Girls.
And Bright.
And Bright.
Or how do we know you're really bright? How do we verify it? I don't know. We didn't actually check.